Join me for a cozy winter weekend morning of homemaking. Welcome to Simple Sacred Home. My name is Paige, and in today's video, I wanted to walk you through my weekend morning of homemaking. This is a special weekend because I am prepping for my husband's birthday. Normally, we would go out to eat for our birthdays, but my husband really wanted a lasagna, and because lasagna is his favorite meal and he never gets to have it because he's dairy free, I thought it would be fun to try a dairy free lasagna recipe. I will have the recipe down below. We actually did try it today and it was very good. So if you are dairy free, have family members that are dairy free, and you like lasagna, this is a great option for the dairy-free family members in your life. In addition to a dairy-free lasagna, I also wanted to make my dairy-free sourdough chocolate chip cookie recipe. My husband loves these sourdough chocolate chip cookies, and he said he would prefer them over a birthday cake. So I decided to make this recipe, but with a little bit of a twist. I decided to make it into a cookie skillet rather than the traditional cookies. So in order to have a rest day on Sunday, which is his actual birthday, and it's also when we take our family Sabbath. If you haven't seen last week's video, I will have that linked here. You can take a look into more of why we have a Sabbath on Sundays. But because we decide to take a day of rest on Sundays, I knew that I would want to prepare our meal prior to Sunday. Because of that, we are prepping a few days in advance. So on Wednesday, I actually went to Whole Foods. I never go to Whole Foods, but they are the easiest place, in my opinion, to get all the dairy-free options in one place rather than needing to go to multiple stores. And for both recipes, there were a couple specific dairy-free items that we needed. We needed some dairy-free mozzarella for the lasagna. We also needed dairy-free chocolate chips, which these you can get at most grocery stores. But we also needed dairy-free yogurt and a couple other things. So it just made sense. I was driving by Whole Foods to stop in there. So I did that on Wednesday. On Thursday, I actually pulled my sourdough starter out of the fridge because I hadn't used it in a couple of weeks, so it had just been sitting in the fridge, and it definitely needed to be fed before I could start making the cookie dough. So on Thursday night, I fed it. Friday, when I came home from work, it was really active, it was bubbly, and it was ready to actually make the dough. So I made the cookie dough recipe on Friday night, put it in a cast iron skillet, and let it ferment in the fridge overnight. So that way on Saturday morning I could wake up early and bake it. Not only did I make the chocolate chip cookie dough recipe on Friday night, I also soaked the slivered almonds that I need for the lasagna, the ricotta portion of the lasagna. Because it's dairy free, we're making a ricotta alternative, and it required these sliced almonds. So I did all that prep work so that on Saturday I could wake up early, immediately get to work, and then we would still have a majority of the day to spend together without having to be in the kitchen all day. I found that because I work full-time, the only way for me to really get in those additional homemaking skills that I want to practice and get better at, it really does require me to make some time on the weekends to get those done. And because on Sundays it's really up in the air with what we do depending on our Sabbath, Saturday is really the day that I can work on those skills and dedicate to homemaking, catching up on things that I let slide during the week, and also trying new things in the kitchen. So I decided to wake up at 6 a.m. just to get up, get my day going, feel productive, and it was a great idea. So if you work full-time and you're trying to be a homemaker, I highly recommend taking at least one of your weekend days to wake up early and get some of those tasks done. I was done with our entire dessert and dinner meal before 10 a.m., which was awesome. The first thing I did when I woke up was I actually got ready for the day. I stayed in my pajamas, but I did a little bit of makeup, and I also did my hair quickly, and then I fed my sourdough starter so that I could put that back in the fridge. I also popped the cookie skillet into the oven. Once again, the link to the recipe will be in the description box below. I'm also in the process of getting the recipes up on my blog as well, so you'll have access to them there as well. This part I was so nervous for. This was for the lasagna, and it was making the ricotta substitute. So it included slivered almonds, tofu, yogurt, dairy-free yogurt, a bunch of seasonings, and it actually turned out really well. The texture was correct, and when it was mixed in with everything else, it really did not taste out of place. It tasted like lasagna. So it worked really well. I do recommend this recipe if you are dairy-free. I do eat dairy sometimes because I'm not allergic, and it was still very yummy to me. It didn't seem like this artificial fake cheese dish. It was very delicious. It was also really easy to make, and it had a ton of whole ingredients, which I really liked as well. I popped this in the oven, and it baked for about 40 minutes. So I just kept an eye on it, but 40 minutes was perfect. The only thing with the dairy-free cheese is it doesn't melt the same way that regular cheese does, so it doesn't look as melted as a regular lasagna would. I hope you enjoyed spending the morning with me, and I will see you guys in my next video.